Welcome back. The Patriotic Alliance remains steadfast in its message. There is no room for illegal foreigners in South Africa. Outspoken leader Gayton McKenzie says he wants 100% of jobs to be given to South Africans first, except where that skill cannot be found locally. Now, party members have recently been inspecting shops owned by foreigners. McKenzie says he's excited that other political parties have also joined their call to, in his words, put South Africans first. But in a country where xenophobia often rears its ugly head, how will the party prevent violence and intimidation from breaking out? Well, Gayton McKenzie is actually here in studio to answer those questions. Thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Sam. Thanks for inviting me.
So obviously there's some controversy around what you're doing and how you're doing it, because many people are arguing that it's going to, stoke tensions and it's going to reach a point where foreigners are going to be attacked. What do you say to that?
Well, you know what? We are very clear that I don't know why people are surprised, because when we started our campaign 2 years ago, that's what we said on this very show, that we want illegal foreigners to go. But they didn't even think we were going to make it. Now that we've made it big, they want to have a noise. We are saying the police are there to control any violence that might break out. We are not going to sit back and fear violence, but while violence of hunger, violence of joblessness are visiting South Africans. We are very clear. 100% jobs in South Africa should be reserved for South Africans. Only foreigners, legal foreigners, with a specialized skill. That's the plus. So we've got a Great Depression, we've got the recession, we've got a crisis. Nobody talks about that. The issue remains, and nobody wants to say it, that rich white people and rich black people, it's very comfortable for them to have the Zimbabweans here, to have the Nigerians here, because the property prices, the apartments stay full from these Nigerians. The Nigerians rent buildings from them, they eat in restaurants, they fill up the shops for them, and the rich whites don't need to pay, the people don't need to pay UIF, they don't need to pay tax, they are not unionized. We are saying that I don't care about political correctness. I don't care to be woke. I don't care about those. I don't care what labels they put on me. But what we are saying is the Patriotic Alliance. We are going to fight this thing until we're going to wake people up. They must go home. They must go home to their country. We are not going to stop. The Nigerian embassy sent me a letter.
Listen, the tone and what you're saying, they must go home.
The illegal ones. We're not talking here about pastors. We're not talking here about priests. We're talking about illegal foreigners.
Yes, but also my question was about the laws, because you are punting the fact that our law says that this is the case, and it's not. Our laws do not right now, according to the Labour Minister, say that we must employ South Africans first. Nedlak is actually still discussing that, and he says that there should be change. It's not in place right now. So what you're punting as a message of fact is actually, in fact, not, right? And how you go about doing it is the key thing here. No one disagrees that South Africans need to have jobs, especially when it comes to positions like waiters and other positions that are not skilled where we have to look abroad, right? No one disagrees with that. The impact of what you're doing and saying is what people are concerned about, and that is xenophobia and xenophobic attacks, which have been raised by groups like the African Diaspora, which have been raised by the Human Rights Commission and other groups that have issued statements today.
Those groups, as far as I'm concerned, and excuse my language, they can go to hell. I tell you why. They've never said those things when people, I was on the ground saying, I saw young people sitting at corners in Mamelodi. I've seen children in Queenstown sitting at corners with zero hope. The Human Rights Commission should speak about those things, because otherwise they must go and open a Human Rights Commission in Zimbabwe. Yeah. They must go and open a Human Rights Commission there, because they are not speaking for South Africans. Black people, colored people, and Indian children are sitting jobless. They are sitting with no opportunities. All these organizations that want to talk, we shall visit them too. Yeah. Because they must explain to us, are you here for Zimbabwean, Nigerian human rights, or are you here for South African human rights? This fight is not going to stop. They are not going to scare us. We are only starting, and we are shaking them already. We want the minister to wake up. The unions, they are the most hopeless you can get in South Africa. Those unions must be closed. Yeah. The unions in South Africa are the most hopeless you can get, because they are here saying illegal foreigners should be here. The mere fact that you are illegal here, you are criminal. I want to come back to your point where you are saying that that's not what the Act says. Fine, I give you that. That's not what the Act says. I'm still going to read it. But this is what I'm saying to you. Being illegal here, you are criminal. Yeah, if you came here Now, these people that we have
There's no
visited
disputing
shops.
that. No, I'm not disputing that, so we don't even have to debate that. I'm talking about the legal foreigners who you even tweeted about, saying that we're going there, we want to find out why these people are being employed.
I tried to open, well, not I tried, I opened a business in China, I opened a business in Dubai. Both of those countries, I had to tell them which skill am I bringing. They had to say that this area I cannot have in Guangzhou, is reserved for things. We are not a banana republic. The Nigerians have hijacked the whole of Hillborough, the whole of Rosettenville. What we are saying is that it's time for them to go home so that our children can get jobs. We said with graduates here that don't have jobs. As a business person, it is open sesame for them. They prefer foreigners. You know what? Foreigners are the new key for some of these racist whites, because they can tell them, come work here, and pay them whatever they want to pay them. But we are saying that, you see, that man of Cream, he will not have done that if our forces has been there.
Okay, so who's to blame? Are you blaming the foreigners, or should we blame the government that's allowed that to happen?
I blame the government firstly, starting with Mbeki. He opened these gates, and Mandela. Then after them, I blame the foreigners. How do you come here and you don't have the correct papers?
No, I'm talking about those who are here legally and who are allowed to work in this country.
No, the ones that are here legally, we have a list of 8 of them that works at the city of Joburg. They are not going to work there, I can promise you. Because we are the kingmakers here in Joburg. They've been denying that we are the kingmakers. We are the kingmakers. And whether we go in the ANC route, whether we go the DA route, a great majority of our decision will be based on put South Africans first. They can't move in Joburg without us. So now everybody's waiting to see what the Patriotic Alliance is going to do. Our first thing is all the foreigners working here, unless they are brain surgeons that we do not have. Yeah, I don't know, do we have them? Unless you can say this person is a marine biologist.
We're not going to have a problem with the DA on that when it comes to foreigners. So.
Well, then I'm going to the DA. The principal fight for us at the moment is illegal foreigners. You know, they bully people. They say, no, you're going to bring xenophobic violence. But let me tell you something. I live in Sandhurst. When there was xenophobic violence in Alex, government moved the foreigners, illegal or legal, to a camp just next to Sandton. Everybody in Sandton was up in arms. No, we don't want them here. No, we don't want them here. No, take them away here. But you want them to stay between our people. I grew up, there was something called Nklushop, shops, tuck shops, in all our areas. The Somalians has finished all of that. You don't get them anymore. And you know what people don't know? Last year, during COVID, you couldn't buy cake flour in this country, in the shops, because the Somalians bought 125 million rands worth of cake flour so that they can up the price. This is mafias operating here. They sleep in the shop. They do that. But I'm saying to you now, you can call me names, you can call me xenophobic. What I do know is that I care about the child that don't have a job. The child, you know what? The Zimbabwean managers that only hire Zimbabweans under them, they say South Africans are lazy. They are going home. You know, in the security industry.
Can your messaging not be more responsible?
Responsible? How? What I'm doing is the most responsible thing in the moment. I'm not playing to the gallery. But because you see, my message is clear. I'm not speaking to the guy that lives where I live. I'm not speaking to the guy that has my type of finances. I'm speaking to the people that has no job. They understand this language. You that buy by Woolworths, maybe you don't understand this language, but they understand this language.
You buy from Woolworths, I'm sure.
Yes, I do buy from, me and you buy from Woolworths.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's why we don't check the expiry date in Woolworths when we buy.
I absolutely get you, and it's not a laughing matter, right? Because remember, if in a couple of weeks from what you're pushing, if you go into these communities that you already know are riled up when it comes to foreigners being there, we've seen it in the country happen several times, even in the past 2 years, where foreigners were attacked if they were in specific areas, especially the businesses. If they're riled up and empowered by what you're doing, and we see xenophobic violence again, you're going to be partly to blame for that.
Did I ever say people must have any violence?
So well, you're literally talking about sending people back home. They must go back home.
But how will they? Where must they go to? Where must they go to? Where must I send them? Where must I send them to? Must I send them to America? I must send them home. That's a responsible thing to do.
Gayton, South Africa doesn't operate that way. Our democracy doesn't operate that way. And you're a political party in this democratic state. And you need to think about how our history. you would know that. You would want to talk about the history of this country, how other African countries welcomed our struggle heroes when they were kicked out. And I know it's different times and all of that, but the courtesy and the responsibility that we have when we speak about these things is key, especially in a country where we know that xenophobia is rife.
No, but you know what irks me about the valid thing that you raised now is that why is everybody's cowing over the foreign or the illegal one. Why is nobody worrying about the child in El Rado Park? Nobody's worrying about the child in Rega Park, the child in Eerteris that has never had a job, that's sitting with 2 degrees. I got a DM today from a lady. She's got 2 degrees, 8 years been without a job. These are graduates. Then you get a guy that just come here through the Limpopo River, missed the crocodile, and then he comes here, and then people say, no, your message must be crafted in a certain way. You must speak. We are dealing here with a pandemic worse than COVID, with a pandemic worse than the Great Recession, greater than the GFC.
And that is our government's fault.
I agree with you 100%.
You are going after the easy targets.
But I'm not going after easy targets. It's government easy target. We went to COJ.
Yeah, what did you go and search COJ?
Pardon me. We went to COJ and we told them, and now the matter is being discussed amongst political leaders.
You see, you're doing things differently there.
Wow.
You're being polite. You're going to discuss issues.
The lady was not there. We went to the office.
You are going into shops like this, though, and you're going and throwing off things that you say are expired. Yes, foreign shop owners were saying that they were threatened as well. We had them on camera. And we had residents who were even saying that we need these foreign-owned shops because they're cheaper than going to Pick n Pay and ShopRite.
Their children have jobs. And we didn't. We were not doing what she was saying. We went to COJ. We went to go look for them. When we got there, they were not there because they must have taken a back door.
Did you go back?
Pardon? No, we are going back tomorrow.
Okay.
Our guys are going back tomorrow. This is only the beginning. You know, you don't speak about the fact that the taxi association, when taxis were burned by the Somalians, and the Somalians came with big guns. But now it's another matter because it's the PA and us Baizani. You're not going to threaten us with your big guns. Now they know. They were going for the taxi association that's weak. But now with the PA, they understand. How would you feel, Sam, if your daughter must buy, or your son, one day, if you do have children, Purity or Formula One that is 2.5 years old? Because our grandparents that look after the children can't read, some of our grandparents, and they just buy it, hoping like me and you and Woolworths, we get the right thing. I am saying to you today, they can call me whatever they want to call me. They can call me xenophobic, but this thing, for us, we're going to make sure government remove them. You can blame government. You know what? The very same people that come from Zimbabwe and getting jobs here, while our graduates sit at home, that must stop. And people mustn't just wait for Gayton. Okay. They must take where they stay. They must remove them.
No, you see, dude, you can't tell people to go and remove people. That's not okay. That's lawlessness, actually. It's not allowed.
Lawlessness? Let me ask you something.
It is, because
if you are legally here...
If you are telling a local to go into a store and remove someone because they're selling something illegally, that's not the way it works. You've got to go to the police. As the minister even said, if you find something that's illegal, you report it to the Labour Department and police. You cannot tell citizens of this country to go and remove people.
The problem
that is not responsible.
And the problem that we are sitting with here, you just said government is to blame. And now you want us to go to the same government. What we are saying, we've given them a chance, what we did in El Rado Park. We went there and we said to them, guys, this is expired goods that you're selling, would you agree? On camera. They said yes. We said this meat is green, would you agree? They said yes, on camera.
I'm not disputing that. I'm telling you it's about your messaging. If you're saying we're telling people to go and remove them, that's not okay.
All right.
And I don't think anyone can tolerate a stand for that.
No, all right. Let me pull that sentence back, but let me give you this one. To say, go to those shops and go and report those people. Go and report those people, but they must make sure that the people take action.
All right.
People don't have jobs.
That's fine. That's fine. It's messaging, words, how we use it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, sir.
That was Patriotic Alliance leader Gayton McKenzie.